Alright folks, the deck is Purator Paladin. The goal of the deck is to play some early game minions.
Well met.
Pyro.
Hey, thank you, Shanae, for the tier 2. Really appreciate that. Alright folks, the deck is Purator Paladin. The goal of the deck is to play the Purator to generate a... The goal of the deck is to play the Purator to draw a bunch of minions of different types and make use of N'Zoth, God of the Deep. Now, N'Zoth is a neutral card, which breaks some of the synergies with this deck, but we have 2 copies of Order in the Court as our only spells, as well as Stonehearth Vindicator, to ensure that we can get that in our hand early and still play some of the restrictive cards. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Roffle. Sorry for interrupting. No, it's okay. It was already going off the rails anyway, so you just gave me an excuse to do a new take. But welcome, everyone. Hey there, Major Fuss. Hey, Gillian. Hello. Facepalm. How's it going? Arian's Toenail, thank you for the 7 months. Not sure why the Well-Met didn't play. Oh, I know why. I've solved it. Oh god, I'm rank 1. What am I doing here?
I will fight with honor.
Okay, 1, 2. And then look for Vindicator or Order in the Court. Well, the Knight of the Dead is back. I don't really want to take too much early game damage because that just makes it easier for them to kill me. Sure hope we make it to turn 7. But that seems kind of unlikely. GG. Opponent wins. Never had a chance, it turns out. So that's neat. We can go through the motions and pretend like it matters what we do from here, but it absolutely does not. Yeah, welcome, Society.
True strength comes from within.
The good news is we are a game further away from Legend, so that's neat. So nice of us to meet the opponent halfway with the dealing damage. It's not even close to halfway. They're going to do more than enough damage to kill us. Probably next turn, in fact.
You are not the boss of me.
Alright. Hope the opponent had fun with this one. Sure is a fun way to play Hearthstone. An example of why I do not want to hit Legend this month.
Versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
I will
Alright.
fight with honor.
Seems like it'll be a little more fun. Even if I do hate playing against even Shaman, at least. Oh,
I see.
okay.
Your guests.
Look at that.
A red sun rises.
Max is out. Was I fast enough to make the joke? Honestly, given the number of times I've heard it, you're probably just fine. Just don't even worry about it. In fact, it would seem that in some people's minds, the slower you are to say it, the funnier it is.
A red sun rises.
Reporting for duty.
Maybe I should have kept that order in the court, it turns out.
Water.
Hey, welcome, Benno. What is this deck?
Really?
I mean, I'm not
It's
complaining
not too
by
heavy.
any means.
To battle.
It's Naga Shaman?
The light dims.
We're gonna be rich.
Hi Roffle,
Hi.
welcome to the stream. I think I'm a bit lost. Is this the hyper super duper chat without money gifts for me? Mew mew yes, I circumflex. Anyways, have a tiny money, and a good stream, and watch out for those, dang it. I forgot it again. Well, anyhow.
Thank you, Industrials, for the sort of super chat and great rhymes. But they just devolved a Murgurgle into a Murgurgle board. That's incredible. I also got a whole bunch of different minion types for whenever I do decide to draw the N'Zoth. I'll see you later, Blob. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day. I guess I should have held on to that order in the court. I think we learned our lesson off of that. Is a little too greedy. Hey, welcome, Yoa. Just kidding, I am a genius. My deck building
The menagerie is for the pure only.
is perfect.
Operating hours are over.
Did we get there? Oh, welcome, Ice Climber. So, what's going on with alerts today? Me. Oh. I'm having issues with, That was a weird game, right? Well, oh, you know what they're probably doing is the, if I had to guess, it was probably some sort of, like, horse rider combo. But thank you, Mozart, for the 100 bits. Why are elevator jokes so classic and good? They work on many levels. I'm not sure why this is... Let's test this. No?
Uther versus Nemzi.
Let's have some fun.
I have the red overlay up. I don't know.
will fight with honor.
Screamer Man can't figure it out. One, two. Seems good. What does this do? Maybe that'll fix it. Hey, we drew the card.
A red sun rises.
So we can coin a Purator and then die.
Bloody day.
An odd situation where I'm kind of like hoping that they discard a Soul Barrage here because that means they have fewer for the like, actual combo.
Got a tomb with your name on it.
They did not get a new card in hand off of that at least.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
But they still do probably win the game. As soon as they draw the cards that they need, I'm not going to be likely to be fast enough. Have you seen any classes besides Hunter pull off the Horseman OTK yet? I haven't seen it. I have a few built that I plan to do. I know there are other classes that are more than capable of it, and then like other people are trying. Like, Priest is a common one, Druid as well. Okay, now they have a... Jeez. That's bad news for me. But at least that's predictable. So they have at least 3 fists in hand, that's 12. The problem is when they inevitably hit a Soul Barrage, that adds another 6, so that's 18. And like turn 7 is really late for getting the healing off of these down.
They're innocent.
The menagerie is for the pure only.
Well, I can do it with Darkest Hour, yeah, but that seems incredibly unreliable is the problem. Like, that requires very specific setups and a lot of mana.
My hand is too full.
Cool.
They're innocent.
Warlock seems like one of the worst classes to do it with, though, to me. Dead. Such a fun way to play Hearthstone.
Uther versus Uther. Well met.
Pray for me,
I
Roffle.
will
It's
fight
parent
with
teacher
honor.
conference
I
day
will
SMH
command
my
the light.
head.
Oh god, good luck. Thank you, Game Ovaries, for the 13 months. Alright, clearly this is the mirror match. Warrior should be worst after DK? Nah, I feel like Warrior could have boom ship combos that could make it a lot easier to pull off than some of the other classes, right? As well as control tools. I mean, Warrior in general is a pretty bad class right now, so maybe that's why it's just going to be struggling. But next turn we go here. We probably don't want to play the Purator on 5, just because of the number of cards that we're going to end up drawing.
I hope Sire
Stewie.
right.
Just dude Paladin.
Really? It's not too heavy.
Okay, we're drawing one of the 7s next turn. Fortunately, we're probably just going to have to coin the Carousel. Or just Protector Hero Power. Jeez, that's kind of concerning.
The light dims, but we
I've got this.
This allows me to coin the Lightray and then get a better Carousel Gryphon in play. Although I think we are going to lose the stat buff on this, but we get Taunt, and seems important, especially for the N'Zoth. Could also consider holding the coin for an Anachronos, depending on how much they develop here. Because that Dunbaldor bridge is pretty spooky.
Well met.
Hi Roffle,
Hi.
my new cats love watching. They've begun to try backseating, smacking cards to play.
That sounds an
Thank
awful.
you for the great content.
Yeah, that sounds an awful lot like what chat's already doing, so they'll fit in perfectly. Thank you for the 21 months, Sonari. Hope the cats are doing well.
To battle.
Yeah, seems like I'm gonna need to Anachronos. Or I'm just going to die here. Demon Hunter can pull the 3 horsemen with a with Blackthorn after a Vandar, but that seems too complicated. Yeah, that's because it is too complicated. I think Proving Grounds is a better way to go. Just because you don't want to have a situation where your deck can break completely simply by drawing one card before the others, you know, or not. Oh, we're dead, yeah. Like, if you draw Vandar too late in the game, you just don't have a way to end the game, you know? Plus, you still have to, like, pulling them from your deck isn't necessarily even the hard part, right? It's making sure they die. Demon Hunter can put cards back into the deck, though? If you're taking turns to glide, you're already just miles behind. Like, that's just not practical in the wild format. You have to
I will
and this applies to a lot of people in chat, you have to be able to distinguish what is possible from what is practical. No Glide Zero Mana spell? I mean, you still, again, you cannot have that many turns to set up. It's just, you can't.
I can't do that.
A red sun rises.
Alright, I kind of need to hope this is Seeker Mage, but at the same time, Seeker Mage is a good deck.
An
Okay,
incredible discovery.
we'll do our best.
Reporting for
Bloody
duty.
day.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
True strength comes from within.
The battle!
Bloody day.
Believe in yourself.
I almost played this just because I expected that, but I wanted to make the mana efficient play, and the
You're not ready for this.
Dragon Man was probably better in nearly every other circumstance. Good into explosive. 8. Yeah. Fair game, yeah. Got a lot of options next turn depending on what they play.
It'll be our little secret.
Probably means it's going to require like a
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Anachronos or Leviathan, I think is my only option here. I need to do something to try and swing the board this turn. Because we know they have 2 secrets in hand, right? So like the issues with the secrets are only going to get more troublesome.
Mistakes of the past rewritten.
I'm late. I'm late.
I'll show them.
What's troubling you?
This time, mortal.
I want to try and get the
The menagerie is for the pure only.
Leviathan down on the turn where their minions come back. That looks like counterspell to me, so I need to draw the other order in the court before I can play the Or I can just give up a singular invitation, which does feel a little bit bad.
It'll be our little secret.
We still have a 0-mana secret. I think it's whatever's redundant with this one is the thing.
Required.
Well met.
Yon, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that.
This time, mortal. This time, mortal.
Dispense justice.
Yep, this sure was the better matchup. I mean, it unironically and absolutely was, but we've seen both objections, so at least this is live now. Or not, though.
The victory is yours.
Is there a 0-mana secret mechanic? I mean, there has been since classic Hearthstone. Power creep, my friend? I mean, that's not... There's literally been a 0-mana... Okay, I'm just not even...
I will fight with honor.
Look for early game, but the Vindicator on curve is pretty good. Secret Mage and Big Priest, the most fun matchups. I mean, one of those decks exists in the format currently.
Well met.
I like to order one warrior extra fried, please.
I mean, we
Thanks for the content. Best regards.
I appreciate that. We did get a warrior, so thank you for your order. And thank you for the 1 year, Sarah.
Someone's gotta lead the charge. Pirates away!
Release Hearthstone had some insane power creep from Classic set. How do you have power creep in the initial... I hope you're making a joke. We'll just assume you're making a joke. I think you are. I believe in you. Okay, you are, thank God. My brain is broken from reading YouTube comments this morning.
Glory! I'm here for the gold!
Alright. We're doing this because otherwise they have, like, just a weapon swing into it.
Put your dukes up, small fry.
Essentially the same thing, but...
client has the heart of a hero.
I'm just trying to get these reduced quickly, and I want to use this to draw the second one since it becomes difficult. Fine later. It may look weird, but it was very much intentional.
Well met.
Well met indeed. Thank you, Ice Climber, for the 100 bits. Alright. Behave like adults, please, chat.
Yo ho! Set sail for the snack bar!
Surely they picked a cursed blade here. Oh, good god.
Welcome aboard.
That's concerning.
They're innocent.
Guess we know what our clock is. I don't think I have any possible way of getting there. I think we're just dead.
That's the spot.
The victory is yours.
I have no idea what the loner decks even are or how to evaluate them because they're in a format that I don't play. So I would look up maybe specific guides on Google for which one of the loner decks to choose.
I will fight with honor.
I'm not the right person to help you with that. Alright, we don't have that many 2-drops, so I'm just going to play a River Croc. Well, now I don't even have to.
Ah, I see you've brought guests.
The light dims, but we will fight.
Not sure what warrior deck wants Renethal right now. Just good old-fashioned control warrior. Maybe somebody's trying to prove me right that warrior can pull off the horseman combo. Hey, I don't know. I need to get some of these junk minions off the board. Kind of a liability into things like Rancor. Theoretically, you could use like Low Cleaver to get the horseman out of your deck. That would be kind of sweet. And then because you have like Brawl and Shield Shatter, you have a lot of ways to kill them. Seems less likely if they're running a Dry Whisker, though, if that's the case. It might just be like...
Insanity is no excuse for bad manners.
Might just be either Reno or Dead Man's Hand. Hey, welcome, Mayborn. Yeah.
Well met.
Hello,
My
what's
client
up?
has the heart of a
How's the
hero.
mini set? Haven't had time to explore the cards.
Mini set's been fun so far. Welcome, see, sure. This might be a situation where I like actually want to Anachronos my own board just to first of all corrupt the Carousel Gryphon, but also play around like brawls and stuff. Just to like hide them away. Is that crazy? Probably not necessary since I have Countess now.
Remember this day, for you are graced with my presence. Repent!
They're innocent.
To answer the question though, mini set's been fun for the most part when we queue into people like actually trying new decks at least. Probably Ronin. I can't quite get the 15 that I'll need. It really wants boom here, doesn't it? Here. And Vol'jin, apparently. My god. Do I want to force out a brawl here? If they get Anachronos, this might be a problem. Oh no, they can't play it this turn.
Behold!
Repent!
They're innocent.
Alright. Hey, welcome, Kali. Now the Anachronos might be. I considered a preemptive one, but I felt a little too cute.
Nice little raptors!
Wait, I just missed lethal. I don't know what I was thinking there.
Let's break the ice.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
That was dumb.
Really? It's not too heavy.
I have 5 health clear here. Okay. Never punished, I guess.
Self-destruct!
They must not have hit shield shatter with that? I don't know. That was weird. Is it like they could have shield shattered that theoretically if that's what they hit for 10 mana? It draws minion? Oh, right. It doesn't just draw the top card.
Well met.
Early days, but what cards seem strongest from the mini set in opinion?
I mean, the ones that go straight into decks that already existed, so like the pirates. For wild, probably.
Behold the magic of
I don't think that a mini set typically has enough cards to like bolster a completely new
a fish
archetype.
without eyes?
A fish.
FSH.
Nailed it. Thank you, Mozart, for the 100 bits. The Shaman Evolve 1 mana thing is pretty busted in Standard. Well, yeah, that's mostly because it, or in part because it's complete. It's not working as intended, and I also don't think that people come to well, most people don't come to my channel looking for my opinion on Standard things. So I assume that was a reference to Standard. Or wild. I don't know, I'm losing my mind.
They're innocent.
Reporting for duty.
Drawing with the 1 mana spell though? Well, it's offering Nuptialon for one thing, which it's not meant to. And then, I mean, that's only part of the problem because Thaddeus is also pretty strong off of it.
I'll show them all.
An incredible discovery.
To battle.
The light dims, but we fight.
I feel bad for you.
For justice.
They're innocent.
Yep, so far so good.
It'll be our little secret.
Well, it's not even just that 11 mana cards in Wild exist. It's that, like, even if there weren't 11 mana cards, there's so many 10 drops that you can't reliably get it. The reason it's good in Standard is because of how reliably you can get the the Nuptialon or the Thaddeus because of how few minions there are. In the 10 mana slot.
What once was cloudy shall become.
Honestly, kind of fine that we're not seeing a new secret here.
I'm late.
Oh my god.
I'm late.
Maybe not. They don't even need a new secret. Have I played an order in the court yet? I haven't. Okay. We're just miraculously drawing from the top of our deck right now, it seems. Is the Discover Evolve worth running in Wild since it's somewhat not random? I mean, I feel like I just answered that. No, it's not going to be good in Wild for the reasons that I mentioned. You're welcome, Hingus. Alright, we gotta take a risk here. And unfortunately it has to be with the Leviathan. Please don't be objection. Cool. Draw. Dredge. So we've seen both explosives, right? Test for counter. I really would have liked something.
What's troubling you? It'll be
1 mana for the possibility of playing the Anachronos because we still need to wait for or see one more objection.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Unless.
Mistakes of the past rewritten.
What's troubling you?
That seems like it should have gone face. The wrong piece back.
Your signature is required. Shall become clear.
Right, did I just miss lethal again? 4, 9, 21. No, I was 1 off. Actually, I had it with the Zealot.
Must dispense justice.
It's fine. Nobody noticed. I mean, opponent missed a lethal setup as well, so now we're even.
Required.
I dropped out of law school, I couldn't care less about legal? Yeah. Who needs it?
Uther versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
I will fight with honor.
I'm quite tired of playing against Disco Lock already.
A red sun rises. Good pick up here.
Did the mini set buff Disco Lock, or is it just popular? It's just popular. It didn't get anything. Didn't need anything. It just took some time for it to find its way down ladder. It had been pretty well established as a very good deck at higher legend for quite some time.
Almost out of time.
True strength comes from within.
Should be at a good pace. Yeah, perfect.
Bloody day!
Mostly fine. We haven't seen that version in a very long time. Like, without Tome Tampering, I don't think there's just any reason to even consider a Tiny Knight of Evil. So. Opponent seems to be trying to prove me wrong.
For justice.
Fortunately, I gotta make a choice here, and it has to be this. Doesn't feel good though.
No, don't. It's still good.
Marginally better for me than a Soul Barrage, at least. That shuffles my deck, which is fine. I got the light rays that I was looking for anyway.
Almost out of time.
For justice.
But we fight.
Not all. Well, the vast majority of Warlocks at this rank are Disco. There aren't that many other viable options. And because it's the strongest Warlock and the easiest to pilot, it tends to be the most popular. If I can make it another turn somehow. Nah, this is gonna die. So never mind.
Got a tomb with your name on it.
I just know in Standard they are primarily Phylactery Death Rattle. Yeah, that's just way too slow for the Wild format. Because of all those Disco Warlocks that exist and look to end the game next turn. Like, I was legitimately considering that, like, the game's just over. We lose if they, as soon as they hit Cataclysm, so GG. Almost got to play the game this time. The good news is the opponent took 4 times as long as us to play arguably the most straightforward deck in all of Hearthstone right now.
Extra.
I should have just conceded like 3 turns ago. Turn 6 you win or you don't, that's it for disco? Yeah, like that's legitimately also the thought process required to play the deck is, do I have Cataclysm plus spells? I win. If not, I lose.
I will fight with honor.
Taking that as long as the opponent didn't play that many turns is absurd. Oops. Oh. Guess we shouldn't laugh too soon.
A red sun rising. Never bring a sword to a fish fight.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
There's a decent chance at drawing the other Goldwing, which could legitimately save the game for me. I think we go here. Phenomenal. Like I said, potentially game-saving draw. Probably looking for the weapon here.
Well met.
Hi Roffle, I heard that you were listening to metal while working out in the mornings. What are some of your favorite bands if you have favorites?
What I listen to when I'm working out and what I listen to like for enjoyment are a little bit different, but I like a lot of like prog metal, like Between the Buried and Me, Animals as Leaders, and I don't think I want to play this the next turn. And Opeth.
I feel bad for you.
I forgot that was on offline.
Blood and blood.
That's what happened. Ah.
The victory is yours.
It's really, really hard to multitask. My brain was completely thinking about something entirely different. If you're in an automatic, it's going to be, but it's not right now. I very easily could have won that. I think the Dane trick doesn't work anymore. I've tried it recently and it doesn't pan out. Yeah, I guess that's the risk of publishing something like that, is it alerts people that they need to fix their stuff, but it's still likely to work against a number of bots that don't have a fix or something like that.
Are no match for me.
I will fight with honor.
The first demon hunter I've seen in quite a while. Oof. Well, this is now a dead card, unfortunately. I mean, other than just as a way to reduce the light ray. Tell him to go away. was thinking about Call to Arms and a Pure Pally deck messes with the lawyers, though. I mean, that would just be an entirely different deck as well. I was thinking about a deck with a bunch of our odd cost cards and Baku. God. Why is everybody playing so slow today? Like, I have limited time.
They
And
will never catch me.
Not enough time.
My blood boils
frustrating.
for war.
just end the turn. Alright, we're guaranteed to hit this off next turn.
This way, you fools!
I think I've already lost this game though. My draw is pretty poor, and the opponent's deck is good and mine is not. I'm just gonna go next. I don't really want to wait for them to rope out every turn.
Unparalleled.
That was absolute misery. Hey, welcome, Wanderer. Glad you're enjoying the content.
Hi, you know why it's hard to explain upon to kleptomaniacs? It's because they always take things literally.
Thank you, Tyrion Stonehill, for the 100 bits.
I make my own.
I will fight with honor.
I want to find more low-cost minions for Pirate Rogue. Guess we don't have to coin anything if they don't have a turn one.
Never bring a sword to a fish fight.
Pirates away!
Might just have to play a River Croc.
Blood and plunder.
Not looking good, unless we like top deck Nazoth or Vindicator. Jeez, yeah, it's just probably already Ogre.
The light dims, but we fight.
That's not a valid target.
Maybe hitting the Goldwing off of the
Fish, landlubber.
Murloc can get me there. Probably not though.
The victory is yours.
Yeah, that was with a bad opener from the opponent too. The good news is we're losing rank, so I'm further and further away from Legend.
Uther versus Maiev.
You didn't see anything.
I will fight with honor.
Alright, well, this is slow, and probably Well, it was going to be a loss against Pirate Rogue, but thank God it's not Pirate Rogue.
I see you've brought guests.
I don't know if I want to coin this just because it's so awkward with the curve or lack thereof that I have. That's a much better draw. Cool.
Our gift of the arcane enlightens us.
Alright then. Not something that I expected to see today. Horrible draw.
True strength comes from within.
It's kind of hoping to hit the Goldwing there.
For you.
Clear the path!
Oof.
For justice.
One stab, finish him!
It's rough. Probably coin the Leviathan though. So that's out of the way. And it corrupts our carousels. Gonna probably just put a Righteous Protector on top, yeah. Haven't seen a duplicate yet. Unfortunately, dredging right now after the Order in the Court isn't necessarily the best thing until we can get like a Murgur to reshuffle maybe.
Come, friend.
Wait, what? Sure. Okay. That suggests they probably have a Tog in hand. The only thing that makes that make sense.
For justice.
The light dims.
I need to make hand space if I ever want to play the Purator.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Here's the Zeph.
None shall
Peace. One, two, three, four. Could be enough cards in hand. Let's just make sure I don't double count or miscount because I made some pretty big errors already today. Okay, I was right.
Keep your enemies close, and your shadows closer.
Kill the,
Well met.
1 year. Wow.
Wow.
Worst year of my life, but daily jabbit of watching your VODs was one of the thing that kept me sane. Thanks for amazing and thoughtful way you provide us with content.
I appreciate the 1 year, Sarzy fans. Sorry things are, that was not the thing I wanted to do. Sorry things have been rough for you, but, glad you're enjoying the content. That was I wanted to get this Righteous Protectors out of hand.
What did a hat say to the other hat? Stay here, I am going on ahead.
Thank you, Mozart, for the 100 bits.
I taste
Yep.
To battle.
What did one tree say to the other? Nothing. Trees can't talk, you dingus.
A red sun.
That's true. I was wondering where that was going for that very reason, but thank you, Collie, for the 100 bits. We got the wrong mech, unfortunately. Jeez. Wait, we do get the N'Zoth back, though, don't we?
I did not see that coming.
I wanted that.
The light dims.
Really don't want to keep getting that back.
None.
Oh right, they bounced that back. Fine. I think I only have one Murgurgle Prime left in my deck. That's counting the one that I burned still.
The Queen's trove is forbidden.
Really? It's not too heavy.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian. My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
The light dims.
This time.
They still have the Astalor second stage in hand. We did get double Murgurgle, but it was twice as likely the second time because he died again.
Our gift of frost shields us.
We've seen Tenwu, but not Shadow Step. Oh god.
Our gift of frost shields us.
It's like evasion.
Mortal.
They're innocent.
Is Roffle a flip-flops or sliders guy? Are Crocs in the question?
Flip-flops and Crocs are absolutely in the consideration.
A red sun rises. Must dispel justice.
Thank you, Fat Throbbing Cock, for the 100 bits.
None shall pass.
Our gift of fire empowers us.
The time has come to dethrone our former master.
27. They're at 33.
I wonder. This time, mortal.
So even with the weapon, we only take them to 31.
This time, mortal.
Move quickly.
This time.
I'm not sure if we're ready to draw cards right now, or if it's even necessary. When got Countess for refill, and very few cards left in deck.
I will act as your scale.
That could get you deaded. But I guess often the Astalor does the same. Maybe they have Reno in hand.
It's gonna be rich.
So I didn't want to go all in on damage. Probably play around Theatar.
Remember this day, for you are graced with my presence.
Use that on the Astalor. Oh, that was... Oh no, the Divine Shield saved me. That was not a great invitation.
Our gift of fire empowers us.
One stab, finish him!
Some burst.
I feel bad for you. They see me. For justice.
Bubble, bubble!
Oof. Combo effect, maybe? Or the Tog. Looking for some of the... Jeez. Some of the Cthulhu pieces, I imagine.
You are too late. His return is nigh.
fine. That clears their stuff too. Only 3. Jeez. Oh my god, it's just doing so much. What is happening? Do they also have a, they're just showing lethal here, aren't they?
I'm almost out of cards.
28. I can reduce it by 7. So that's 21. I go to 21. I would need a little bit more help. But we do have the Z-Lag to help with that, maybe.
Let me think.
And whatever else is in here. Play from another class. So what other classes have I had so far? It would be the Z-Lag. And that's it. So it's probably the Wide Eyes, right? It would be the Z-Lag and the Flick.
I must move quickly.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
For justice.
I think the only one they haven't played is the AoE one, though, isn't it? So they're just going to destroy my stocks here, which will probably win them the game. Well, they did have it. Maybe like it with an Anka. Yeah. This deck has literally everything. And I think it's gonna get me. This is my last push. Yeesh.
I'm almost out of cards.
Alright. Another Murlocula. But their Cthulhu probably ends it. Just off the top. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if that's when they wanted to play it. I think it doesn't matter though. Oh no! Outvalued.
I'd like to congratulate this rogue on their first win of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. GG to the opponent. Thank you, Collie, for the 100 bits. I'll be right back. I hope we see some more opponents like that. That was a great game. It really was, but I wouldn't count on seeing any more opponents quite like that one. Hey, GG, Machu. Is your first game with the deck? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, the Anka Terran is actually pretty smart. Maybe we could do something that goes all in on that type of...
The forest fights back.
I will
That could be
fight
fun.
with honor.
Yeah, 100% win rate confirmed for the opponent's deck. GG, Machu. Alright. Probably back to some nonsense games, but... I mean, Druid's nonsense is reasonable. Okay. Not exactly the kind of nonsense I was expecting. Coin one of these so that I can get it down before I draw too many of the or the other order in the court.
True strength comes from within.
Yep. Job's done. Okay, Lightray. Fine, as long as I can get. Yeah, we'll be able to pace through to make sure that this is online. The problem is we're just kind of playing like a vanilla 3-1 next turn, which doesn't feel great.
Ready for action!
I'm sorry, what?
Time for the finishing touch. Well played.
True strength comes from within.
Oh god, I can't deal with the web boards.
I'm looking for a few good mercenaries.
We didn't even have to drop all the way down to Diamond 5 to find some fun decks. My god.
Believe in yourself. My client has the heart of a hero.
Reporting for Tearstun.
Next turn I can go Order in the Court into Lightray. And actually, I should have considered the Order in the Court this turn because then I could go Lightray into Lightray. Diamond looks like it has good games. I mean, that hasn't been my experience most of the month. It's just we happen to run into two in a row. Surely the Anachronos will save me, right? I can go here and here next turn. Play the Anachronos. Right. Like the Anachronos or the Leviathan would give me enough time to get to the N'Zoth.
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
Oh god. That's not good. We're exactly dead with the hero power.
The victory is yours.
Just lost to Goldshire Footman. Need to work on better pacing out the Lightray.
Uther versus Tyrande.
You give me strength.
I will fight with honor.
Just keep double Banana Man, or do I really want to find a 2-drop? Let's keep double Banana Man. That seems like fun.
The light dims, but we fight.
Fortunately, Big Priest is not likely to be a good matchup. It could also just be like Exodia Priest, which would also not be a great matchup for me.
Repent.
I think it's probably more likely to be Exodia. His new thing.
Really? It's not too heavy.
This is pretty good into actual Big Priest.
Did you hear about the two
It's
warlocks?
not too heavy.
I heard they fell in love.
No, I've got this.
Oh, thank you, Mozart, for the 100 bits. I suppose Anachronos is probably fine into Big Priest as well. Let's go here, so that I can go here and here next turn if I need to. Like, next turn is the theoretical Shadow Essence turn. That's fortunate.
Reporting for duty.
Odd. Be a Blood of Gahoon. Will end the game for me. Big Priest has a new list. This is not a good list, I don't think. But
Stone Legion, to me!
like, I think this is still just less good than doing his off things. Or not his off, nuptial and things. Yeah, this probably has to be the Anachronos now. Bridget, thank you for the raid. We had a good stream. We are playing some Purator N'Zoth Paladin right now. Unfortunately matched up against Big Priest, but we're doing what we can. welcome raiders. You know what we'll do is we'll just get a Shudderwalk off of the Countess, right? That's the game plan from here. That'll bring back the Anachronos, the N'Zoth. Like, it'll be pretty nutty. So that's in their deck.
Remember this day, for you are graced with my presence.
Huh? Are you enjoying the mini set cards? It's been fun so far. When we actually get to play against people playing the new cards, but it's a common trend in the wild. This can help chop down some of their board, and then we can like follow it with a N'Zoth or something, or we could do this on the big things that are remaining.
Met.
So could be in a good spot. Lucas, thank you for the tier 1. Yeah. Isn't that really bad for them? I don't know. It didn't seem great.
Know your place.
Let's check the outcome of this. Cataclysm! Oh, come on! No! What? Oh, that's unreal. Yeah. These are all just impossibly bad.
Move quickly.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
Alright, we're probably done. Would you say that was cataclysmic? Yeah. I think I would. What are you doing? What? That was a mislethal.
Those we love are never truly lost.
That was an omega mislethal. I don't think they could have had an easier setup than that. Then again, I guess I've missed lethals today, so who am I to talk? Surely the N'Zoth will save me, right? I have so far like 0 for 4 on the Leviathan here, and I've exclusively gotten the tail. Ugh, unlucky. Okay. I can work with the Death Knight.
You could not stop me then. stop me now.
I think I just keep the
I will
order in the court.
fight with honor.
I won't necessarily play it on 2, but probably good. Yeah, I think I just go 1, 2. Maybe consider this on 3. Oh.
Lightly used armor.
Okay. Not at all what I was expecting, but sure.
But we fight.
Generally, Death Knights and Wild are even. I will happily take a slower deck or a change of pace. I don't think I mind having the Murgurgle die before the order in the court anyway. Likely to hit to the... Well, I'm guaranteed to hit the N'Zoth before next turn.
The citadel stands strong.
It's gonna be a while before this is active, so I think I just tempo it out as a 4-3. I don't really want to lawyer either of those, so... Gonna be honest, I forgot it had Rush, but it gained both Rush and Wind Fury when it, Oh no. Fun of making me jealous. I want to try and find the Leviathan for next turn. That would be ideal. Ah! Renathal who? This is why I wanted to draw a card. Oh! Cards. Yeah. I am having a hard time catching a break right now.
My client has the heart of a Kyrian.
I really needed the Countess for this matchup, I think. Cookie's pretty good. They don't have enough for like a big corpse explosion, do they? Oh, I guess they do now. They probably just follow that up with a N'Zoth then, since they just used the corpse explosion here. Surely we'll hit the front part of the Leviathan this time, right? Or just no part of it. They're not Reno, so they can't like... Oh, that came off the top, my god. What?
The menagerie is for the pure only.
I think this one's over. Oh, that was the perfect draw.
I will not be merciful. Mistakes of the past rewritten.
For justice.
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 True strength comes from within.
This time.
Okay. Ugh.
Victory is yours.
We are out of resources. All right. Well, the good news is we have met our goal of getting further away from hitting legends, so I feel good about that.
Protect the wild.
Deck is working as intended.
Fight with honor.
Pretty good hand.
A red sun rising.
Sure is one way to use the coin. I think they would have been better off with the coin hero power. Good God.
Really? It's not too heavy.
Job's done.
No, it's just kind of a race to get cards out of hand.
Job's done.
Probably not playing the Purator this game. There's this. Wait, they didn't shuffle.
My hand is too full.
No, I've got this.
Oh, just what I needed.
Life, happiness, and friends.
My hand is too full.
No, I've got this.
Job's done.
Truly an inspirational druid player, yeah. Proof that with a good matchup you can just make even the most nonsensical plays and still win.
My hand is too full.
Oof! I wanted to escape the animation. Please get me out of the game. Oh my god.
The victory is
Just lost a coin. Whatever the armor gain thing is, I don't think I've seen a worse turn 1 from a druid. Well, maybe turn 1 shuffle is worse. But that's definitely up there with just like absurd plays to make. Oh, okay. I think I have to switch off this deck now that we've hit Diamond 5. I'm losing enough already, and we just unfortunately lost the game by queuing into Warlock. So, GG. Opponent wins.
A red sun rising.
Fortunately, it'll be over quickly. We just get to pretend like we're playing Hearthstone for a few turns, and then the game kind of ends.
No, don't. It's still good.
Better for me than a Soul Barrage, at least.
You are not the boss of me.
True strength comes from within.
What's the target dummy in the deck for? Because it generally doesn't matter what cards you're running as long as you're running Merchant, Soul Barrage, Fist of Draxus, and Cataclysm. Like the rest of your cards. You just fill in whatever you want. Ideally, you want a Kobold Librarian as well because you do need to like draw towards those things. But most of the deck is largely irrelevant. They can't even handle Gul'dan? Many do, yeah, because you don't want to interrupt the, like the Merchant into Soul Barrage is so powerful, you just absolutely do not want to interrupt that. Just fishing for the Cataclysm.
I feel bad for you. For justice.
Usually we're dead by now. Oh, they might just rip a Tempo Cataclysm, yeah. Oh, no, I'm just dead. Right, it's turn 6. Why would I expect to be alive? Wait, not dead?
True strength comes from within.
That was all of their bursts too, right? They might have thrown.
My client has the heart of a hero.
They probably have another Soulfire. So I do need to heal at some point. Another Soulfire and maybe another Fist. I don't know why they wouldn't do that first. Just Anachronos to take this off the board for a little bit. But they want to be tapping every turn, because all they need is the
Mistakes of the past rewritten.
It's the Soulfire, so there's just no reason not to tap every single turn. More important than an expired merchant there.
Stoke me, I dare you!
They just continually are doing things in. Have to go face. The only way I can win this is if they miss the Soulfire here, and but like there's no reason if they have a second Soulfire. Yeah.
I'm almost out of cards.
Unfortunate.
The victory is yours.
Like that should have happened the previous turn. They had no reason not to tap every single turn when I was at 4 health. Like, they just objectively played that incorrectly. Alright, I need to stop playing this deck.